Next up, we're going to have our senior class who has spent this past year learning about the vision behind the Bhagavad Gita. Let's welcome them to the stage.
Hari Om Ganeshanandaji, how are you doing? Looks like you have a lot on your mind.
Well, Radhika, first of all, I appreciate you all for your selfless service as teachers at this great center, Chinmaya Mahavir. I was thinking about Balavihar kids who graduated a few years ago. They were all great kids. They must be doing different jobs now. I wonder how these kids are doing in their lives.
I hope they're all happy. These days, kids are facing new challenges. They have to make hard decisions every day. But you know, we taught them the vision of the Bhagavad Gita, so they must be making right choices and doing well.
You're right about that, but just because they have studied the Gita does not do any good unless they put honest effort to implement them.
Well, let's go out there and see how they're doing. Let's see if they've become a bunch of happy people or a bunch of miserable people.
Hello, Swati. How was your work as a superintendent at the factory?
Not good, Arti. I was very enthusiastic when I came to work today morning. But just when I started my work, I got to know that one of my colleagues had a birthday party yesterday and I was not invited. Little later, there was another colleague who was passing by and criticized the work that I delivered yesterday. These two incidents distracted me all throughout the day and was not able to focus at work.
But Swati, why do you give importance to these type of incidents? They drain away all the energy from us and we would end up not being able to complete our work. Do you remember the lesson we learned at Balavihar? Don't sweat small stuff. All our experiences are real only to the extent we give it reality. We give too much importance to little things and become miserable.
Thanks for bringing that lesson back to my memory. You're right. I have given unnecessary importance to these little incidents. I'm blessed to have a friend like you who applies the lesson learned from Bhagavad Gita to real life situations.
Thanks to our teachers. And Swati, you have a happy evening and wish you would have a great day tomorrow.
Now we're going to hear a general who is feeling very uneasy about her job.
Thank you for having me, I guess.
Happy to have you. Why don't you tell the audience what's bothering you lately?
I feel miserable seeing people die every day knowing I am responsible for it.
I understand. Now let's listen to your fellow soldier that has a different perspective.
I'm so happy to be here, Miss Nithya.
Happy to have you. We know that being a soldier is a very important job. Can you tell us why you think this job is important and why you're content in this job?
When I chose this job, I was following my swadharma, my own nature. I always wanted to protect people and fight for my country. Go India!
But you face such atrocities every day. How do you cope with that?
My swadharma is being a warrior. It is my duty and it is for the well-being of society. I know I harm people in this process, but it is to protect citizens from evil.
So how do you feel now?
I realize that I chose a wrong career, a career that does not fit my swadharma. That's why I am miserable, but it is too late to change. Now I understand that I have a duty to fulfill. I signed up for this career and I must follow through with it without complaining. I should be content.
Good. I'm glad you have realized this. Thank you both for being on my show.
Next, let's welcome Dr. Sad.
Hi, Mr. Sai. I just wanted to say that you're lucky I was able to fit you in my schedule.
Well, what seems to be the problem? You look miserable.
I don't know. I just always seem to be sad.
Why do you think you're always sad?
No one at my practice ever does anything. I'm always the one doing all of the work, but no one appreciates me. They don't understand that without me, they can't even run this office.
Oh, I think I see the problem here. I want to bring someone out for you to meet. Let me introduce Dr. Happy.
Hurry on, Mr. Sai. I'm so excited and thankful to be here.
Do you want to tell me how your life is going?
Sure. I truly have the best job ever. I'm so lucky to get to work with such wonderful patients. I'm also so thankful for my nurses and receptionists. I would not be where I am today without them. I love my job.
I hate to interrupt, Mr. Sai, but what is the point of bringing her here?
Do you really not see the point?
Obviously not.
Well, there's one thing that she has that you don't. You're arrogant and she is not. You think you do everything. Don't you remember having studied in Bhagavad Gita that doership is an illusionary? The notion that I am the doer is wrong. Dr. Happy recognizes that. She also appreciates the fact that so many people are contributing directly and indirectly to her success.
Oh, I see it now. All of those things are coming back to me. I will be making some serious changes in my life to become a happier person.
Thank you. Hurry on.
Now let's check in with the happy and sad engineers. Come, Beta, what's the problem?
I don't feel like working anymore. Every day is the same. Waking up, dragging myself up from bed, and sitting in front of the computer from 9 to 5. After work, I take my anger out on my wife and children. My only source of happiness is drinking and smoking, and occasionally some hard drugs. What can I do?
Well, you seem to have an excess of tamasic guna in you.
What's a guna?
Everyone has a combination of 3 gunas, or characteristics. The 3 gunas are sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Sattvic is a purity of thought, love, compassion, and selflessness. Rajasic is characterized by ambition, jealousy, greed, selfishness, and ego. Tamasic is dullness, laziness, ignorance, and fanaticism.
What does this have to do with me being unhappy?
Well, even happiness is of 3 kinds: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Tamasic happiness is short-lived and finally ends up in misery. The happiness you are trying to get from drinking and drugs is of tamasic kind. Only sattvic kind of happiness is the real happiness. Shoot for that.
How do I do that?
Well, what do you think, Pranav?
Well, you must try to become more sattvic. It's a gradual process. For you, you must first try to change from tamasic to rajasic, and then rajasic to sattvic. All you need to know was taught in Balavihar to you, but you forgot. Go back home and review your notes on vision of Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you, Pranav and Mr. Host. I feel enlightened by your teachings. I will also make sure I brush up on my Balavihar notes. Hari Om.
We would like to welcome everyone back on stage. Hari Om Swamiji, thank you for all your teachings. Do you have any final words of advice to these guys before they leave?
Of course I do. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says,
Yadyadacharati shrestha tattadevetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanu vartate.
That means whatever a great man does, other people tend to follow. That does not mean that you should blindly follow some famous people like celebrities. No. You should be careful while choosing your role models. You must be able to get inspired constantly from such role models. With the same token, you must be able to become a positive role model to others, to your kids, your friends, your colleagues, and everybody else in society. Hari Om.
Thank you, Swamiji. Hari Om.